Hey guys, the show's about to start. Sit back, relax, take a hit, and enjoy.
Bitch, shut the fuck up. My bitch so stuck. I ain't honest, but I get the bucks, yeah.
All I want right in the chest, bit dog. Pull the white walls, no flex involved.
Tell me that you're lost without telling me you're lost.
TokeTok Radio with Mountain Man and the Wizard.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of TokeTok Radio. Tonight's episode is 420 News on this glorious Tuesday on May 17, 2022. So on 420 News, we like to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, the unbiased of everything cannabis related that's going on here in homeland America and of course internationally and stuff. And then, of course, we have a Candle Woman of the Week this week, of course, like always. So let's get right into it. The first article tonight is the momentum builds in Senate for a major cannabis bill. Senators on both sides of the aisle are throwing support behind a proposal to tuck key marijuana banking legislation into large package aimed at boosting the U.S. competitiveness, including the odds that a significant cannabis bill gets through the upper chambers this year. Senator Patty Murray, Washington, the number 3 Senate Democrat, is leading a push to pass the Safe Banking Act, which would enable cannabis firms to use banking services as part of a sweeping package lawmakers are hashing out in both the chambers that is intended to bolster the community's supply chains and manufacturing. Wow. So, I mean, real quick, when it gets down to it, I mean, I think that's really cool that they're trying to get the banking services legal, basically, so all the dispensaries and stuff can use legal banking services and stuff, because I know there's been all the stuff that I really read has been going on with a lot of robberies, because like last week's 420 News, I definitely mentioned there's dispensaries are basically a cash service, and so in like bad areas and stuff like that, you can rob a dispensary and it's all cash there, and it's crazy. Yeah, but I think that's pretty cool that everything's starting to get a push, and then with this banking service, it'll probably allow the federal legalization of marijuana or cannabis to push through without a doubt, and finally get it federally legalized. That'd be crazy. And also says, while the cannabis measure was not included in the bipartisan U.S. intervention and companionship act that passed the Senate, the legislation was featured in the House version of the bill known as the Competes Act that passed in February. The bottom line is that the banking bill's been out there for a long time. It's ready to go. It needs to pass, said John Tester, Democrat from Montana, a member of the conference committee and a co-sponsor of the Safe Banking Act, told The Hill. We've got 9 Republican co-sponsors officially on it, close to 50 Democrats, Dane said. There are some other Republicans that I am confident if we had a vote, would vote for it. So we have got the votes to pass the Safe Banking Act as a standalone, if you would like to say. So I think that's really cool that everything is like ready to go. All they have to do is take it to basically to committee or what have you, so you can just pass it and get on with it. So all these dispensaries and stuff like that will quit getting robbed, which is fucking crazy. I think it's pretty cool that they're starting to get a move along and stuff like that. The American Bankers Association and bankers groups from all 50 states urged Senate leaders to include the banking bill in the conference, reported last week. stating that the urgent need legislation would address the recent wave of robberies and improve transparency and tax collection among cannabis businesses. See, right where, just like I said, it's got to stem all the way down to the dispensaries being on a cash basis, and it's pretty crappy that they have to go through all that noise, getting robbed and everything like that. It's fucking insane. I think it's crazy as hell, because you just lose a big ass, like, just say you make like $15,000 and then you get robbed, and all $15,000, it's kind of insane. I think it's pretty nuts. I just really think they need to hurry up and pass the bill and just get it done and over with. I just think it's crazy. So senators are being urged with a similar message from state officials. Colorado State Attorney General Philip Weisner, Democrat, and Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost wrote a letter to the Senate leaders last month warning that the current system encourages crime and prevents poor tracking of billions of dollars in marijuana sales. Nuts. I think that's just craziness. They need to get that fucking fixed right away. They need to hurry the fuck up, get it fixed, because they just said billions of dollars, billions of motherfucking dollars unaccounted for because of these robberies. So let's get it passed, Senate. So before we go on to the next article, I want to introduce the smoke of the show, which comes from our dear friend over there at dustoff_420 on Instagram. Go over there and check him out, give him a follow, and let him know. I haven't even sparked a joint yet. Let him know that TokeTok sent you. Holy crap, that was a mouthful. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that and got a little chuckle out of that. But anyway, go over there to his Instagram page at dustoff_420 and just let him know that TokeTok sent you. And tonight we got a little bit of Slurricane. About to spark her up real quick. Tastes good. Thank you, Dustoff420. Make sure you let him know that TokeTok sent you, and just go over to his page and just check him out, and you won't regret it. So let's go on to our next article, and it's all about guys who work out, guys and girls that work out, play sports and whatnot, and smoke cannabis. Study finds cannabis flower useful to decrease fatigue. A study entitled "The Effects of Consuming Cannabis Flower for Treatment of Fatigue" was published in the Medical Cannabis and Cannabinoids in April. The authors conducted the interview through economics and psychological departments at the University in New Mexico, as well as More Better, which is the creator of an app called Relief that was used in this study to track consumption. The study analyzed 1,224 people who conducted 3,922 cannabis flower consumption sessions within the range of June 6 through August 7, 2019, using the Relief Act. Participants recorded their levels of fatigue prior to consumption as well as afterwards, and also included notes about the specific strand and properties they have consumed. The results described that an average of 91.94% of the participants felt that their fatigue decreased overall after consuming cannabis. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, quick story. I'm not one of those guys who can smoke cannabis and go out and run a marathon, because when I was back in college, I used to smoke a lot of cannabis in college. And then just one day I had this particular idea to smoke before football practice. I hated life. It was just nuts. I was so tired. Like, I just didn't want to do nothing. I just wanted to lay down and enjoy like my high, and it was nuts. But me, I wouldn't do it. I would be one of those guys that say, oh man, this shit's about to put me to fucking sleep. But I mean, there's also strands out there that make me feel like I want to get up and run a marathon, but I really not going to. But it's crazy. But researchers noted that the specific strands labeled as indica, sativa, or hybrid did not provide a positive/negative effect in combating fatigue. However, participants who smoked joints felt fatigue relief more than those who chose to consume via pipe or vaporizers. I mean, I'm gonna smoke a joint. I get the most effect, in my opinion, out of smoking a joint and or a wrap of some sort. Joint one out. But for me, like when it comes to like vaporizers and stuff like that, like I get the mild effects of it, but I'm not really like feeling it like I would smoking like flower or something like that. It's fucking crazy. But it says here that both Vigil and Dr. Sarah Sith from University of New Mexico Department of Economics were surprised that cannabis decreased fatigue in so many participants. One of the most surprising outcomes of this study is that the cannabis in general yielded improvements in symptoms of fatigue, rather than just a subset of products, such as those with higher THC or CBD levels or products characterized as sativa rather than indica, Sif said. So, I mean, I totally get it. Like they're using obviously the predetermined characteristics of like sativa to indica. So they're saying like sativa used to be basically down and out, but it's actually bringing you up and stuff, just stuff like that. It's pretty nuts. I think it's pretty insane. The relation of decreased fatigue with cannabis consumption is a relatively new topic, but the end list of cannabis use and exercise has recently become a popular topic. Last summer, the banning of Olympic runner Richardson for a failed drug test prompted numerous discussions and studies analyzing how cannabis is not a performance-enhancing drug. In December, the University of Colorado Boulder announced that it would be conducting a first-of-its-kind study of cannabis and exercise with 50 paid volunteers. The study will have participants consume either CBD-dominant or THC-dominant strand, and when the effects wore off, ran on a treadmill for 40 minutes. I think that's pretty cool. It's going to be pretty, obviously, a new study, so everything's got to go in for that. It's pretty insane, man. This Slurricane is really good. So guys, make sure you guys go over there and check out dustoff_420 on Instagram. Check him out and let him know that TokeTok sent you. But this is huge out of California, guys. Not even gonna stunt. California bill proposed to prohibit employment discrimination across marijuana users. The legislation Assembly Bill AB number 2188 would amend California's employment anti-discrimination law, the Fair Employment and Housing Act, the FEHA, and it makes it an unlawful practice for an employer to discriminate against an adult applicant or employee based upon the person's use of cannabis off the job and away from the workplace. AB 2188 would also prevent discrimination against an applicant or employee who fails a drug test detecting non-psychoactive cannabis metabodies in their urine, blood, hair, or bodily fluids. The bill would not permit an employee to be impaired by or to use cannabis on the job, or affect the rights or obligations of an employer to maintain a drug and alcohol-free workplace as specified in section 11362.45 of the Health and Safety Code. I think that's so cool that, I mean, obviously California, I don't know about any other states, but this is kind of like brand new to me. So it's like pretty intense to hear that they're making it law where you cannot not hire somebody because they popped on a drug test for marijuana. I think that's really cool. I think marijuana is there to stay in California. I know New York is similar in law, but I know this law right here, just by comparing them by the knowledge I have of the other law, this one is well needed in that state, and hopefully it'll come to all 50 states, because I just think it's not cool that you have to piss in a cup and then you don't get the job because you smoked a little bit of weed. And I think it's gonna come really nice, especially like like they said, like the runner in the Olympics and stuff like that. I think it's gonna be really nice, and very well needed for some of those people out there who are just avid smokers that just want to hold a job like a normal person instead of having to piss in a cup. But it says here, if erected, AB 2188 would be the first California law providing workplace protection to users of cannabis. California's Proposition 215 legalized the medical use of marijuana in 1996. The law did not provide workplace protection for off-duty, off-premises medical marijuana use. In 2008, in Ross versus Raging Wire Telecommunications Inc., the Supreme Court of California determined that a disabled individual who used medical marijuana was not protected under the FEHA. In 2016, California voters approved Proposition 64, which legalized recreational use of recreational use of marijuana. Holy crap. Proposition 64 prompted to leave employers' workplace rights undisturbed. The legislation initiative stated that it's the purpose and intended, among other objectives, which would allow public and private companies to enact and enforce workplace policies pertaining to marijuana. Well, I mean, I think it's took too long, but 2016, obviously, it became recreational use of marijuana became legal, and then in 2022, they're finally protecting all them people who use that recreationally and getting fired from their job and so on and so forth. I think it's long overdue, and they finally got it. The Cal Chamber also raised concerns in the letter that the AB 2188, if erected, would limit or eliminate pre-employment testing for marijuana and make the workplace discipline for reasonable suspension impairment more difficult and subject to legislation. So basically, they're pissed at that the law is being changed, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. The AB 2188 is currently under committee review in the California Assembly. The bill will need to pass both houses of the California legislature before it lands on the governor's desk. The governor has until September 30th, 2022 to sign or veto the bill. So, let's get it, California. Let's get it, California. California is going to be the first, and everybody else should follow, and everybody would be good. So hopefully California gets everything passed, so they'll be good to go. So shouts out to California. Hopefully it'll make it away to Virginia Beach. It'll be lovely. So anyway, this week's Candle Woman of the Week is a group of ladies over there at Miss Grass, self-described as weed for the times. Miss Grass is ran by a team of 13 women, all cannabis lovers and true stoners, which mission is twofold: to positively contribute to inclusive cannabis industry for all, and to take an audience first approach focused on the building self spaces for their community to feel inspired and find connection. Miss Grass provides cannabis smokers and seasoned tokers alike with premium, stability grown, high quality cannabis in beautifully designed packages and content that shares historical, cultural, and scientific education about the plant. The co-founder and CEO, Kat Miller, is tended on creating a culture that centers on wellness and quality, both though the products Miss Grass provides to the customers and within the workplace where the magic happens in the first place. When you strive to have a strong understanding of the various reasons people consume, the injustices that have been inflicted in the name of the plant, and the stigmas that persist to this day, it pushes you to stay accountable and consistently check in, especially in the terms of advocacy and inclusion, Miller has told. Assuming education is a forefront, Mrs. Grass is also specifically focused on uplifting women and minorities in an increasing complex legal industry, Miller explained. Women are the fastest growing group for cannabis consumers, yet so underappreciated in the industry as a whole, from brands to products to retail. At the top, there's 2% of women in executive roles, which is even less than already low national average of 29.8%. When you strive to have a strong understanding of the various reasons people consume, the injustices that have been inflicted in the name of the plant, and the stigmas that persist to this day, to pushes you to stay accountable and consistently check in, Kat Miller, Miss Grass. It is even worse situation for minority operators. There's a lot of talk in our industry about racial inclusion and equality, especially due to this plant's deeply racist political roots. But this, then 4% of cannabis businesses are black owned, said Miller. The lack of representation trickles down and means that women's and minorities' needs aren't often focused, or if they are being catered to in a disconnected and inauthentic way. So how can the legal industry start to make an impact for change? It starts with putting the right regulatory framework into place to support and prioritize minority and women operators, Miller answered. Not just from access to licenses, but even more importantly, across to capital and strategic resources. Miss Grass continues to be dedicated to giving back and connecting with all the do-gooders in the industry, collaborating with organization like Last Pioneer Project, National Bailout, Trans Lifeline, Cage-Free Cannabis, and more. So shout out to Miss Grass and all 13 of those fine women kicking ass over there. That is amazing that they want to provide the best cannabis and also the historical value of the cannabis, like all the injustices done to the minorities and stuff, and women and stuff like that from the past, and everything that's rooted into this plant with minorities and women. But Kat Miller over there at Miss Grass is going to make sure the voice is heard, and TokeTok is right behind you on your message you're trying to push out to the community. We love that message. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of 420 News presented by TokeTok Radio with your host, The Wizard. Special thanks to dustoff_420 on Instagram. Make sure you guys go there and give them a follow and let them know that TokeTok sent you. All of our sources from our articles tonight are sourced from 420intel.com, part of Cannabis News Online. So make sure you guys go over there, check out all the full articles as we skim through them over here. And always remember, keep your tinfoil hats and your bowls close. You never know what may happen.